Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now July 10th of 2020, and ever since the very end of the Skywalker saga, a lot of fans around the world have been very intrigued about the future of the Star Wars franchise and exactly how both Bob Iger, Bob Chapek, Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, and yes, even George Lucas are all going to really handle this new universe moving forward for the fans around the world. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, the one exciting aspect of the future of Star Wars is that Kathleen Kennedy is no longer in control, at least for the most part, when it comes to future Star Wars TV shows, or future Star Wars movies, books, novels, comics, you name it, even video games at that. So Kathleen Kennedy is only involved with the Leslie Headland Star Wars TV show, as well as the untitled animated TV series to arrive in the next couple of years. Now, here's the thing with Bob Iger, is that he is really showing the ropes for Bob Chapek to becoming the proper CEO that he needs to be, as he guides him throughout this global crisis, trying to bring Disney back on its feet, to really get themselves in a higher success rate, if you will, when it comes to their theme parks, when it comes to their movies, and their TV shows, and all of their other franchises, right? So the very intriguing thing about what Kathleen Kennedy was going to do that honestly would have went against a lot of Star Wars fans and would have really betrayed George Lucas at the very end of the day is, of course, one specific project that Kathleen Kennedy was working on before her creative control was stripped away by Bob Chapek, the new Disney CEO that took over in early 2020 this year. Now, with that being said, of course, what's really interesting about all of this is that now that both Disney and Lucasfilm are finished with the Skywalker saga, they are now focused on their new Star Wars trilogy of films, as well as their new Star Wars universe in general. Now, it's described that both Bob Iger and Bob Chapek are currently working together as a team in order to create a better future for the Star Wars franchise. Now, it's noted that before Kathleen Kennedy lost her creative control by Bob Chapek, is that she was working on her very own version of Star Wars The Old Republic that was going to be a part of Disney+. Kennedy's version of The Old Republic was going to be a series full of identity politics and personal agendas and would have tons of woke culture in episodes. Now, it's said that Kennedy was going to take the classic Old Republic characters and would change them by changing their names and even changing their appearance in a very significant way where, at best, they would only be and serve as inspirations of the original Old Republic characters and not in an accurate way from the famous video games and books that George Lucas approved back in the 2000s. Now, let me just stop right here, is that goes against not just George Lucas, but also the Star Wars fans. You know, the Old Republic is a very big timeline in the universe, and it only gets worse. It's noted that Kennedy's version of the Old Republic would also break the rules and traditions of Star Wars, where the Force was going to be changed for the worst, and that Kennedy wanted to ditch the idea of the Old Republic being set thousands of years before The Phantom Menace, where she was going to, of course, set it originally a period of just 400 years before The Phantom Menace, which would bring it to just 200 years before the High Republic era, which goes against the canon. So here's the thing about Kathleen Kennedy, is that she obviously has no idea what she's talking about. She doesn't know the Old Republic, she doesn't know the timelines of Star Wars. She really needs to be more informed on what the old canon material was. Let's not forget that famous quote of hers where she stated that we don't have source material, we don't have books, comics, and novels to actually be inspired from. None of that exists. But of course it doesn't in Kathleen Kennedy's mind, where in reality it does exist. We have a library's worth of just the Old Republic material in and on itself. So I'm thinking here that obviously Kathleen Kennedy was doing all of this on purpose to go against the fans, to create brand new fans that would accept this new take on the Old Republic era. It's almost as if that's what Kathleen Kennedy wanted from the very start in the beginning, is that she wanted to create new fans that would accept everything that goes against Star Wars, which could very well be why she chose Leslie Headland to take on this new TV show that's going to be separate, by the way, from the Old Republic. It's going to be its own thing, its own new timeline, that's going to be focused on actually creating new Star Wars fans, going against George Lucas, going against the Star Wars fans. To me, it's just not a healthy thing for Star Wars, and I really think that Kathleen Kennedy could have done a lot better. You know, at the end of the day, she doesn't really have to be like this. All she has to do is learn from, her mistakes and read up on the canon material or the Legends material, but It seems as though that she's too lazy to do any of that, and she's just doing this out of spite, or she's just doing this on purpose. We obviously know that she betrayed George. You know, she promised that she would take care of the characters like Luke, Han, Leia, and others, but she totally did a 180 on that promise and went completely against George Lucas. So, with that being said, of course, you know, the Old Republic era, I cannot wait to see exactly what the new take on it is going to be, since Kathleen Kennedy's version was cancelled, and now George, John, and Dave are going to be working on their own take of this for Disney+. So with that being said, guys, you know, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.